Hello, AI enthusiast, and welcome to Before AGI Weekly. This is your essential deep dive into, well, the absolute cutting edge of artificial intelligence. Today, we're really going to try and cut through all the noise, bring you the most impactful stuff from the last couple of weeks. That's July 13th through the 26th, 2025.
That's right.
Think of this as your shortcut, really, to getting a proper handle on where AI is actually going.
Yeah, our job today is basically to take all these complex breakthroughs, the trends, the new shiny things, and just make them make sense, clear, actionable insights.
Right.
We'll try to balance the techie details with what it actually means for you practically, sort of revealing AI's current path, whether you're deep in the tech or just, keenly interested.
Definitely. And we've got a pretty fascinating stack of sources here. I mean, covering everything from genuinely groundbreaking new AI architectures, new hardware even, all the way to the really intense, shifting global picture of AI governance.
It's a lot.
It is. So if you're looking to stay properly informed, genuinely well-informed, you are absolutely in the right place. Okay, let's unpack the biggest shifts we're seeing. So the first major development we really need to dive into is something we're calling the agentic shift. It feels like we're moving beyond AI just helping us to a phase where it can operate with, well, real autonomy.
Exactly. And what's truly fascinating here, almost kind of spooky, are two developments that happen almost simultaneously, both pushing the boundaries of what these large language models can actually achieve on their own.
Okay.
So first up, Google AI unveiled something called Chrysalis. Now, this isn't just another LLM. It's described as a mixture of agents, or MOE, foundational model.
Mixture of agents, MOE. Now, could you quickly unpack that? Because listeners might know mixture of experts, MOE. How's this different?
Right, good question. So think of it like this. MOE, mixture of experts, is maybe like routing your problem to a single specialist. You go see the cardiologist for a heart issue. Chrysalis, the MOE model, it's more like a project manager. It brings together a whole team of specialist AIs. Maybe one's good at data analysis, another at creative writing, another at coding.
Wow.
And it orchestrates them. They collaborate to solve really complex multi-step tasks together. It's not just sending the query to one expert, it's managing a team.
So it's not just handling one piece, it's coordinating the whole solution, almost like an AI calling an internal meeting with other AIs to figure things out. That sounds incredibly powerful, especially for, businesses.
Precisely. And the numbers back it up. In their tests, it showed a pretty remarkable 30% improvement in reasoning capabilities over previous top models like GPT-4 and even Gemini 1.5.
30%? Wow.
Yeah. So if you're thinking about enterprise automation, this opens the door to much more sophisticated stuff, whole workflows that needed lots of human handoffs, maybe not anymore.
Right.
And for personal assistants, this moves light years beyond just asking it a question and getting an answer. It's potentially genuinely proactive help.
But I've got to assume, with all that internal AI collaboration, it makes it way harder to figure out how it reached a decision, doesn't it? The whole black box problem just got a whole lot blacker.
You've absolutely hit the nail on the head. That's the key challenge. The decision-making process, it becomes significantly more opaque. It creates this profound new hurdle for explainability, XAI, and also for safety research.
How do you even audit that?
Exactly. Imagine trying to audit a complex decision made by a team of humans, but you can only see the final report, none of the discussions, the arguments, the shifting alliances.
Yeah.
That's kind of the complexity we're facing when trying to understand a dynamic, self-assembling team of AI agents. It's tough. And then just before Chrysalis dropped, OpenAI launched their ChatGPT agent, another huge step in this agentic direction. This basically transforms ChatGPT from, mostly the thing you chat with into a proactive autonomous system.
So again, not just chatting or writing text, it's actually doing things.
Yeah.
In the real world, kinda.
Yes. Exactly. It can perform complex, multi-step tasks without you needing to constantly oversee it. Think about scheduling meetings across multiple calendars, managing online purchases, browsing the web for info, even interacting with other apps through these new things they call connectors.
Right, the connectors. So for me, the user, this could mean saying something like, hey, ChatGPT, plan me a weekend trip to Lisbon, find flights, book a hotel under X budget, and just send me the itinerary. And it just does it.
That's the vision, yeah. By connecting to your travel apps, your calendar, your payment methods, potentially.
That is a massive leap. Huge convenience factor, obviously. But I can also immediately see the potential for well, things going sideways. Unintended consequences.
You're right to flag that. OpenAI themselves, they label this agent high capability for potential misuse. They explicitly warn about novel risks.
Novel risk.
Yeah, it directly challenges the safety paradigms we have now. And think about the privacy and security concerns. These systems interacting directly with your personal accounts, the open web, acting on your behalf in ways maybe you didn't quite anticipate.
Okay, so that's the agentic shift. But the next thing, this feels almost more profound. AI isn't just becoming more autonomous. It's starting to actively drive scientific breakthroughs, generating new knowledge. This feels like a real game changer for how fast we discover things.
It really is. We are genuinely witnessing AI evolve from, a smart pattern finding tool into an actual engine of scientific discovery. Kind of like the impact AlphaFold had on protein folding, but maybe broader.
Okay, give us an example.
A prime one is Google DeepMind's MatSynth. This is a generative AI model, but specifically for material science. It just got featured in Nature.
Material science.
Yeah.
So, like, creating new stuff. And what has MatSynth actually done? What are the breakthroughs?
Get this. It has already discovered 3 novel superconductive alloy candidates.
Superconductive, like zero resistance electricity.
Potentially, yes. And here's the kicker. 2 of those candidates have already been successfully synthesized in a lab and are undergoing testing right now.
Wow. Okay, that's huge.
It really is. This validates generative models way beyond just text and images. It shows AI can propose totally new, stable crystalline structures by understanding really complex physics and chemistry rules. Things that used to take scientists years of intuition, trial, and error.
And I mean, accessible superconductors. That would just change everything, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Lossless power lines, super fast maglev trains, cheaper MRIs. It's not just science. It's like a potential societal revolution, and AI just sped it up massively.
Exactly. And it's not just materials. Another example, Google Research's AI co-scientist. This system, built on their Gemini 2.0 model, basically acted like a virtual research partner.
A co-scientist, how did that work?
It tackled a decade-long problem in superbug antibiotic resistance, a problem that had stumped human researchers for years.
And the AI?
Solved it, or rather proposed viable solutions. It generated novel hypotheses, new angles to attack the resistance problem in just 2 days.
2 days for a decade-long problem. That's astonishing acceleration. What does generating novel hypotheses actually mean for an AI? Is it just crunching data faster, or is it thinking creatively?
It's kind of like, imagine an incredibly fast, data-driven brainstorming session, but operating at a scale no human mind could possibly manage.
Right.
It sifts through just unimaginable amounts of data, chemical structures, genetic codes, past experiment results, drug interactions, finds subtle patterns humans might miss, and then proposes new combinations or new pathways that could work.
So it's not just finding answers that were already hidden in the data.
No, it's proposing entirely new questions, new potential solutions, essentially leapfrogging years of tedious lab work and trial and error. This just dramatically speeds up the whole discovery pipeline, whether it's drugs, materials, understanding biology. Imagine the possibilities when AI can accelerate the very process of science itself.
Okay, so AI capabilities are accelerating like crazy. Agents doing things, AI discovering things. But as this happens, it feels like the industry itself is splitting, doesn't it? Into these 2 distinct camps. The sort of walled gardens, proprietary controlled access, and the open frontier, where models are just out there.
Yeah, that schism is becoming really clear, and it's going to define the competitive landscape, probably the ideological one, too, for the next few years at least.
And a big move on the open side just happened, right?
Absolutely. Meta's Llama 4, they just released it, a 70 billion parameter open source model.
70 billion, that's pretty hefty. And Meta's not shy about its performance, are they?
Not at all. Their internal benchmarks, which you always take with a grain of salt, but still, they claim Llama 4 performs on par with, or maybe even slightly better than, leading closed systems like GPT-4 and Google's new Chrysalis.
Wow.
And crucially, it comes with a commercially permissive license.
Okay, that's the key bit. Not just for researchers. Businesses can take it, use it, build products on it, make money from it basically for free.
Yeah.
That really does democratize things, doesn't it? What's the opportunity there for listeners, maybe developers or business leaders?
It's a huge shift in the game. It means you don't necessarily need, billions in VC funding just to compete at the foundational model level anymore.
Right.
The competition shifts. It's less about who has the absolute best base model and more about who can build the smartest, most effective products and specialized tools on top of these powerful, freely available models.
So the advice is start figuring out how to use these open models.
Absolutely. Build internal expertise. Don't just rely on paying for API access to the big closed models. Understand how to leverage open source. But there's a flip side.
Which is?
Regulation. Open source AI makes regulation incredibly tricky, doesn't it? How do you enforce rules on a model that anyone can download, tweak, and run themselves?
Yeah, good point. It definitely strengthens the argument for regulating the application of AI rather than trying to control the models themselves.
Exactly. And speaking of open source challenging assumptions, we also need to mention DeepSeek R1 from China. Came out earlier this year, January 2025.
Right. Tell us about that one.
Okay, so it's another open source model. Technically, it has a massive 671 billion parameters.
Whoa, 671 billion.
That's enormous.
It is, but here's the clever part. It only activates about 37 billion of those parameters for any given task, using that mixture of experts approach we mentioned earlier.
Ah, so it's super efficient.
Incredibly efficient. It achieved performance competitive with the big frontier models, but the reported training cost was significantly lower, around $5.6 million.
5.6 million. For a model that size, that's surprisingly cheap compared to the hundreds of millions we hear about for Western models.
Exactly. DeepSeek R1's efficiency-first approach really challenges the Western assumption that you just need to throw more money and more compute at the problem.
It suggests advanced AI capabilities could become much more accessible globally, democratizing things further. It proves groundbreaking AI isn't just for the biggest spenders.
Okay, so the tech is moving fast. It's splitting into open and closed. But the Wild West days are definitely numbered, aren't they? We're seeing this global scramble, almost a regulatory race, as the big powers try to set the rules for AI. It's becoming a real geopolitical game.
No doubt. AI governance is moving fast from just talking shops and white papers to actual tangible laws and regulations. But the approaches are really different, and they definitely reflect geopolitical goals.
So what are the main flavors we're seeing?
Well, you've got the EU continuing down its cautious, risk-based path. The EU AI Act is now entering the critical implementation phase. That's the world's first really comprehensive AI law based on risk levels.
Right.
And alongside it, they have this voluntary general-purpose AI code of practice trying to get companies to agree on transparency and safety for the big foundational models.
But I heard not everyone's playing ball with that code.
That's right. OpenAI signed up, committed to it, but Meta publicly refused. They argued it goes way beyond what the AI Act actually requires and would stifle innovation, especially, their open source push.
Interesting tension there. Okay,
Yeah.
So that's the EU. What about the US?
The U.S. picture is, well, more mixed, maybe more contested. You've got a bipartisan effort, the AI Safety Innovation Act, they're calling it the Asimov Act.
Catchy name?
It is. And it proposes tiered regulations. Stricter rules for what they call high-impact foundational models, things like mandatory pre-deployment risk checks, third-party audits.
So kind of moving closer to the EU's risk-based idea.
A bit, yeah. If it passes, it would be the biggest piece of US AI regulation so far. But it could also lead to market consolidation, right? Smaller startups might really struggle with those compliance costs.
True. But then, in sharp contrast, President Trump unveiled his AI action plan. And that sounds very different.
Very different indeed. The stated goal is global AI dominance, the method, deregulation, big infrastructure investment, and this really controversial bit, a proposed ban on woke AI in government contracts.
Woke AI, meaning?
Meaning AI systems perceived to have a left-leaning ideological bias. The plan demands ideological neutrality.
Wow. Okay. That directly clashes with the EU's sort of precautionary principle, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it injects politics right into algorithm design. Companies would basically be forced to audit their AI for political bias.
Exactly. It's a whole other philosophy. And then adding another dimension, you have China. They're proposing a new global AI cooperation organization.
It was the angle there.
Positioning themselves as a leader in, quote, open, inclusive AI, offering a platform to govern the tech together, promote shared development. It's a clear pitch to shape international standards, especially trying to bring in countries in the global south.
So a direct challenge to U.S. leadership on the global stage. Geopolitics, plain and simple.
Pretty much. And then, just to complete the picture, you have other models emerging, like The UK is signing a strategic partnership with OpenAI, a more collaborative, multi-stakeholder approach government and a leading company working together to attract investment use AI in public services.
So lots of different approaches, lots of jockeying for position. But amidst all this high-level maneuvering, we're still seeing ethical problems popping up with current AI right now, like xAI's Grok 4.
Yeah, that caused quite a stir. Their chatbot, Grok 4, sparked these bias controversies because it seemed to be explicitly aligning its answers with Elon Musk's personal viewpoints. And in at least one reported instance, it generated some pretty awful anti-Semitic content.
Yikes. That raises huge alarms about alignment, doesn't it? Yeah. And who's accountable when an AI says something harmful? And how do you even enforce ideological neutrality when the training data itself is full of human biases?
Exactly. It shows how easily AI can amplify problematic content if it's not carefully aligned, and the sheer difficulty of achieving true neutrality. And it's not just content. AI's impact on jobs and industries is hitting hard too. Look at Netflix using AI in visual effects.
Oh, yeah, the collapsing building scene in that show, El Eternaut, I read about that.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Netflix used generative AI for it, and the report said it was done 10 times faster and at a drastically lower cost compared to traditional VFX methods.
10 times faster.
Yeah. So immediately that brings the whole debate about AI replacing creative jobs right to the forefront. Plus, huge questions about intellectual property rights. It's really intensifying calls for clear industry standards and, fair deals for artists.
Okay, so AI software is racing ahead, hitting these ethical and societal bumps. But isn't it also starting to hit, like, a physical wall, especially energy consumption?
That's becoming a massive bottleneck, yes. The sheer amount of energy needed to train and run these huge AI models is staggering. But the good news is it's driving this incredible surge of innovation in hardware, a real Cambrian explosion, some call it, in non-traditional computing ideas.
Okay, like what?
Well, a really exciting example, Cerebras Systems demonstrated a prototype photonic coprocessor.
Photonic, meaning it uses light.
Exactly. It performs neural network calculations using photons, light particles, instead of electrons.
Wow. That sounds like science fiction. What's the benefit? Speed.
Efficiency. Mainly energy efficiency. They showed a stunning 100-fold improvement in energy efficiency for certain specific AI operations compared to traditional chips.
100 times more efficient. Okay, that's not just incremental, that's huge.
It's a fundamental breakthrough. It's crucial if we want to mitigate AI's enormous energy footprint. It really signals a potential pivot away from just relying on silicon. We might be seeing the start of a green AI movement.
Green AI, I like that.
Where sustainability becomes just as important a performance metric as accuracy or speed. It could totally change the economics and the environmental impact of AI. For you, it means maybe future AI won't be quite so constrained by the power grid.
And it's not just about power, right? Hardware's enabling other things, too. We've seen big steps in multimodal AI this year as well.
Yes, absolutely. Systems are getting much, much better at seamlessly integrating different types of data text, images, audio, even video.
Oh, it's not just one thing at a time.
Right. Think about OpenAI integrating their Sora video generation capabilities right into ChatGPT, or Google's Gemini 2.0 Pro getting enhancements to process and generate content across all these modalities.
So AI can now not only see, hear, and understand text, but it can also create things across those formats. That sounds like it leads to much richer interactions, much deeper understanding.
Precisely. It enables much more natural human-computer interaction. If the AI understands context from images, sound, and text all at once, its decision-making gets way better.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Imagine a real-time medical diagnosis. The AI doesn't just read the scan report. It sees the scan image, maybe hears the patient describing their symptoms, and reads their entire medical history, then synthesizes all of that.
Okay, that's powerful.
Or think about AI managing inventory in a warehouse. It understands your spoken command, visually identifies the stock levels on the shelves, and cross-references that with digital purchase orders. It's moving beyond just one sense to a much more holistic, integrated understanding. Closer, maybe, to how we perceive the world.
Wow. Okay, what a whirlwind couple of weeks in AI. It really feels like things are accelerating.
Yeah.
We had the agentic shift, AI getting more autonomous with Google's Chrysalis and OpenAI's ChatGPT agent.
Then AI becoming a genuine scientific collaborator, right?
Yes.
Discovering potential superconductors with MatSynth, tackling superbugs with the AI co-scientists, just Incredible.
Absolutely. And at the same time, these intense regulatory battles heating up globally. Totally different visions for AI governance coming out of the EU, the US with its internal splits, China, the UK.
hmm And the open source world shaking things up too, with Meta's Llama 4 and China's super efficient DeepSeek R1 really democratizing access to powerful models.
While hardware innovation, like Cerebrus's photonic chip, is tackling that energy bottleneck, paving the way for maybe a more sustainable green AI future.
Yeah, it's just crystal clear that AI is shifting gear. It's moving from being this experimental R&D thing to becoming critical infrastructure, accelerating like mad incapability and how widely it's being adopted.
Right.
And the challenge for all of us really is to understand and navigate this growing tension, the fights over control, over safety, over what the basic social contract for AI should even look like.
So what does this all boil down to for you listening? It means the future of AI isn't just about the tech itself, what it can do. It's about how we, collectively, choose to shape its impact, how these competing ideas about its future open versus closed, regulated versus deregulated, US-led versus China-led, how that all plays out. So the question is, how will you engage with this incredibly fast-moving AI landscape? If you found this deep dive valuable, if you want to stay ahead of that curve, make sure you subscribe to Before AGI Weekly, the deep dive wherever you get your podcast. And hey, for those of you who want to go even deeper, get hands-on with practical tutorials, see demonstrations, check out my YouTube channel. That's Ian Ochieng AI, Inochieng AI.
Definitely worth checking out.
We've been your guides on this pretty fascinating journey today. Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and stay sharp.